Hey people, welcome back to Bricks with Tips. My name's Tayo Oguntonode. I'm the co-founder of Bricks with Tips, which I run with my wife Antoinette. And I'm also a TV presenter, content creator, podcaster, news commentator, speaker, whatever you name it. Yeah, we're here. But guys, if you're new to Bricks with Tips, this channel is solely about helping you reach your financial and your property goals. Our tagline is using education to bridge the gap between dreams and reality. And hopefully, if you've been following us for a long time, we have been helping you do that. If you've been following us for a while, let us know in the comments below. Let us know any one of our previous videos or content that's helped you reach your financial goals. Let us know the goals that you've hit while you've been following us as well. And we're always happy to welcome back our existing followers, our existing community. Maybe we need to find a name for our community. It's been 6 years or 5 years or so, 6 years coming up to. Guys, do we need a name for the community? Who knows? Anyways, guys, in our videos, we typically are very instructional, right? We're going to tell you how to tackle this problem, or we're going to lead you down this avenue, or this new product's coming out. This is what we think about it. In this video, we're going to do something a bit different because we understand that we were able to follow those instructional videos that we kind of spoke to you about, but sometimes you need to strip things back. Like, you know, when they say property, go back to brick. And sometimes you need to develop the mindset that it takes to take the steps that we might have mentioned in our previous videos. And before you switch off and say, hey, this is a mindset video, it's not a mindset video, but we need to help you understand that there's a particular way of thinking that's going to help you build wealth. I can identify the point in my life when everything switched from me and everything turned upside down. The way I thought about money was different. I stopped thinking about where I grew up and background and so on and so forth and who was around me, right? Everything turned upside down, and that was where the trajectory definitely changed for me. I'm hoping to help you guys identify that previous trajectory for yourself, or maybe that trajectory can be the actions that you're going to take after this video. The bottom line is that a lot of people think that you need money to build wealth, and some of the most wealthiest people in the world have a start from nothing video because it develops and it starts with how you think about money and how you think about issues in the world and being intentional and being strategic. Just so you know, in this video, we're not doing any gimmicks. We're not doing any get-rich-quick schemes. We're just going to be speaking to you about actionable steps that you can take to start building wealth today for free. So, without further ado, let's get into it. The first step is upgrade your money mindset, the way you think about money as a whole. A lot of people think that wealth or money starts in your bank account, right? And look, in practice it does, but I promise you a lot of it starts up here. And I remember, I'm going to give some life anecdotes in this as well. I remember one of my very, very good friends, H, right, in university, he used to say, I'm already a millionaire, I just don't have the money in my bank account yet. It's up here, right? And at the time I thought he was mad. And as you're watching this video, you might be thinking, yeah, he was mad, but he was onto something because he understood that it's your mental capacity that sometimes stops you, right? Even just putting that out into the universe, that like even saying that takes a lot of mental strength. And sometimes, especially depending on the country that you grew up in, and I'm not bashing or rating any other country, but I always give the example between the UK and the US, right? The US are kind of taught to dream. So in the US, the idea, or people are comfortable saying that I need to make 2 million this year, right? Whereas in the UK, you saying that you want to make 2 million this year, it scares people, it puts people off, it makes people uncomfortable, which means that you might not even say the word million in relation to yourself ever. Like you don't even want to, because of how culture is and how it is, you don't even want to put your name in the same sentence as million. Like that's kind of mad basically. So I always say like your mental capacity is so important. If you grow up hearing things like money is hard to make, or people with wealth are greedy, or whatever it is, all of these bad connotations, sometimes it does two things, right? It mentally blocks you, Yeah, that's the first thing, right? And it gives you an excuse as to why you don't want to work towards that for yourself. It gives you an excuse as why you don't want to give yourself a better life by building wealth. Sometimes people think that the idea of building wealth is scary, right? The idea of wanting more for yourself is scary. But I'll tell you what's even scarier: the lack of ability to make a change, right? What's even scarier is the fact that your beliefs are blocking you before you even get started. And sometimes, as a result, we're even scared to start because we're scared to fail. But most successful people will tell you that they failed X amount of times over before they won. And when you try to do something right, the only way is upright. There's only upside. Because the downside is that you're staying in a position that you are in at the moment, effectively. So guys, please realize that your mindset can be blocking you. The next thing I want to talk about is an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset. A scarcity mindset is when you try to rationalize other people's success with, oh, it's the bank of mum and dad. Oh, they got money from their granddad to start their business. Oh, they came from wealth anyway. Sometimes you hear someone's success story. And remember, it's just you watching this video at home. So it's okay to admit if that's you, right? But sometimes you watch someone's success video and then you go through their story and then you find out that they came from a family of wealth and it makes you feel better about yourself. Does that make sense? Even though you weren't particularly going to take an action anyway. It might be you, it might not be you. A scarcity mindset also involves thinking that money is so limited. So you think that when someone else wins, it means that you have to lose. It does not. Burger King is a super successful business and they still have to worry about their market share with McDonald's, with Subways, not even to think of the smaller companies like Five Guys and so on and so forth. And guess what? There's going to be more successful fast food restaurant chains in this year as well. Do not have a scarcity mindset. Money is out there. So long as you can provide value, you can make more money. Once again, scarcity mindset might be something that's woven into the country that you're in. Look at me, I was born in the UK and the UK facilitated me building wealth massively. But I have to promise you, I had to get rid of a mindset that was built in when I was born in the UK. And that mindset is one of scarcity. That mindset is one of save, protect your money, defense. Sometimes you need to be on the attack, right? And I determine attack as investing, be trying to aggressively grow your money. Holding on to money tightly, firmly gripping it. It's like the way that I got around it, and that might help you, is that it's either I hold this money tightly and wait for the taxman or bills to take it off me, or parking fines or whatever it is. This is how I used to think. Or I throw it into a business, into an investment, and try and make something happen. And I promise you, if you follow these next steps and you start betting on yourself, they'll come good. The last thing on mindset, right, and I'm very big on this, is your language, right? We need to stop using limiting phrases in our language, right? Try to take the word can't out of your vocabulary. Try and take it out of your children's vocabulary as well if you have children. I can't afford this. I want you guys to practice being audacious, right? So you may be in a scenario whereby you have £500 at the end of every single month, right? And you want to send a family member to an education facility that costs £5,000, right? Your first instance or first thought might be, I can't afford this. And before I go on, this is just a hypothetical example. I'm not telling you to pay for your family's education, but bear with me. Let me land. Your first thought might be, I can't afford this. And what you need to do to switch your mindset around is say to yourself, how can I afford this? And I know that sounds mad if you're only saving £500 a month, but what you'll then realize, something happens. You realize that your situation needs to change because the £500 a month isn't enough. So you actually start testing yourself and challenging what you know and how you earn money to see if it's possible to earn even more. Does that make sense? Now, it sounds simple, but we're going to go into tangible ways that you can do this. But I always say to people, to give you another example, is that if you want to achieve something, forget about how to get there first of all. Start off with the goal that you want to get to. So I'll give an example. A year and a half ago, I put down like a big house in Kent with like a swimming pool and so on and so forth. that Antoinette and I wanted to work towards. We drew that up on our vision board. The next thing we did is drew up how much it cost, right? And the final thing we did, this is why it's important, the final thing we did is then we started breaking down how much it would cost for us to purchase that house in a certain time frame. And then we had a certain amount that we had to make and save. So we focused on the goal first and then the plan to get there. Because having an abundance mindset and using like some of the things that we've mentioned means that you've got a certain audacity that, okay, this figure, in another example, this figure is 3 times than what I make. Okay, how do I get to this? Use the word how instead of can't. Hopefully that kind of makes sense, but let's speak into what sort of things that you can do to start building wealth and improving the amount that you earn. So let's move on to step 2. Step 2, learn a skill or build a business that can make bank. It sounds simple because it kind of is. It depends on who you are and how much you want it. There are skills out there that if you learn them well, you will make money. I can give you some for an example, right? Sales, for me, is probably one of the most important skills someone can have in life. Everything is sales. Building relationships is kind of sales, right? Sales is super, super important. And some people think of sales like an icky word, right? I want to sell to you, so on and so forth, basically. Sales is effectively the way to present a proposition in a way that speaks to the person's weaknesses, frustrations, or whatever it may be, basically. Being able to sell is super, super important. It shows that you understand people. It shows that you know when to listen and when to speak and so on and so forth. Some other examples is digital marketing and copywriting. And I mentioned these two because I'm currently paying 3 people for digital marketing for different businesses. And for copywriting, I'm paying 2 separate people for copywriting. Guys, there's people out there that are doing digital marketing for 20 clients, 40 clients, 50 clients, 60 clients. A digital marketing, if you specialize in digital marketing, you can teach someone from anywhere in the world, right? I promise you, there's no cap in my rap. One of the people that does digital marketing for me moved country yesterday. He knows who he is and he might watch this video. And he moved country yesterday because he understands that I can do this from anywhere in the world. Super, super important skill. Building a business as well. This gets a bit broader, but there's so many things that you can do, right? And once again, we go back to the scarcity mindset. Don't think that because someone else is doing it, you can't do it. There's always value that you can bring. Now, I wanted this video to focus on wealth. As you know that I'm in property and I help people build their property business as well. So that is a business that can be built as well effectively. But apart from that, because I want you guys to focus on the things that you can do for free, focus on a skill and learn it. I think the thing I'll say as well is that when I was coming up, there wasn't this much free information on the internet. If you had laser focus on one business, is it that you want a nail tech business? Is it that you want to become a copywriter? Is it that you want to do coding in a specific language? Is it that you want to teach people how to code in a specific language because you already know how to do it? Is it that you want to do Airbnb like myself? Is it that you want to, you want to do e-commerce? Is it that you want to, there's so many things out there. Do you want to start investing in stocks? Start picking stocks? Focus on it. Have a laser focus. Now, where can you learn about these things? First of all, right here on YouTube, you can learn about the specific skill or business that you want to learn about. You can use Instagram, TikTok, curate your timeline. People think that Instagram and TikTok is just for laughs. Instagram and TikTok can be a super, super important place to get your mind right. I've got a tip for you actually. Make a new account and only follow accounts that are in relation to the skill or business that you want to learn. What you'll find is that Instagram starts recommending you other content in that space as well. And your whole timeline will be curated with this. And trust me, you will learn so much so quickly. The final thing on this point that can't be understated is build a network around you. Build a village around you. I always mention that if it's, let's just say copywriting that you want to proceed in and progress in, you've done your research and you've seen how much people can make in copywriting after having a few clients, right? But guess what? Your auntie that is a doctor and studied medicine for 7 years does not get it. So when you speak about it to her, she doesn't get it, first of all. She may unintentionally make it sound like, are you sure this is a good idea? Are you sure this is worth it? Are you sure this is that? Are you sure this is that, right? Understand that it's not intentional, and understand that in order for you to progress in what you want to do, you need to build a community around you that understand your goal, that understand what is attainable, that understand what is possible. Community is so important. The final thing I'll leave you with is that I spoke about building a high income skill, and I spoke about building a business. These two are income generating factors that you could learn online for free. At some point, you're going to want to start doing investments with the money that you earn. I'm just going to give an example of what I teach people to do because it's tangible. A lot of people that I work with start a rent-to-rent business in Airbnb, where they rent properties from landlords and put it on Airbnb, and they have a business that's cash flowing. They are then encouraged to buy assets as well. The reason why they're encouraged to buy assets is that these are assets that you own that are going to make money forever. So they'll start with a cash flow and then use the cash flow to buy assets. Now, the key thing about investing, and whether that's investing in property, investing in stocks, investing in index funds or whatever it may be, these investments represent ownership, and they represent earnings that are going to earn even if your phone was off for 60 days. Does that make sense? That's a good way to think about it. If your phone was off for 60 days, in normal circumstances, would you still earn? Now, let's go back to a business, right? High income skill, which I mentioned, right? If your high income skill is trading, or your high income skill is digital marketing, right? And you've got clients. If your phone was off for 60 days, your money might be disrupted. However, if you owned property, or in some cases ran a property business, or you had direct debits going into an index fund, or you had picked a stock that you were holding to hold for 2 years as well. If you went dark for 60 days, in most normal circumstances, your income on that front would be unaffected. So hopefully that makes sense. Step 3, invest in yourself before anything else. Invest in yourself, invest in yourself, invest in yourself. I'm going to start off by saying, right, that it's very, very important to build this kind of like bubble around you where you almost start getting obsessed with business, building wealth and your goals. And look, there's a popular business entrepreneur. She's a lady called Cody Sanchez, right? I'm sure many people have said it before, but she said it recently. And she said that if you can use dollars to buy someone else's 10,000 hours, then that is a hack that you need to do straight away. Let me explain what that means. 10,000 hours refers to the idea that you need to invest 10,000 hours into something to become an expert. And what she's saying is that instead of investing your own 10,000 hours, buy someone else's. So pay a mentor, or pay someone that's going to help you get to the goal, someone who's already arrived. Pay them to just give you a shortcut, which in my opinion makes perfect sense. However, this video is about how you can build wealth for free. So there's a reason why I mentioned that. A lot of people will use their pounds or dollars or whatever it is to pay a mentor to help them with something that they themselves aren't sure about. So you're taking too much of a shortcut because you're not even sure you want to do this business, but you're paying a mentor and hoping they're going to do magic for you. And this is where investing in yourself comes first as well. Invest in yourself to A, make sure that you understand the business that you want to get into. B, understand it's for you. And 3, so you can understand, sometimes you might be paying for a mentor and you don't even understand how much value you're getting from it, because you're just paying because you think it's just going to be a shortcut and you don't have to do any work, right? You still need to put in the work when you go to a mentor. So I'm for going into a mentor, but I'm for investing in yourself first. So what does that look like? Reading books, right? And I'm going to be honest, I could read more books. I wish I could. I need to read more books. Antoinette reads a lot more books than me. So I didn't actually aim to do this, but we got some books up here. So The People Factor, The I Factor, Oversubscribed by Daniel Priestley is a really good book. Property Investment Hacking, if you're into property, by John Wilson, is really good. We got some books from our people as well. So we've got Get Your Money Right by Emmanuel Sukwo. We've got a children's book by Emmanuel Sukwo called The Ultimate Money Guide. We've got How to Handle Money by Kia Commodore, Financial Joy by Ken and Mary, Your Money Life by Bola Soul. It's nice to know a lot of authors. We even got Shaping Up Culture by Mark from Slider Cuts. We've got a couple biblical books up there which are really, really good for your mindset too. Got Rich Dad Poor Dad in the corner. Look, Rich Dad Poor Dad gets a lot of stick, but I have to admit, at the time when I first started reading books, it did a lot for me, basically. Guys, you don't have to try and read 100 books this year, but look, if you curate your timeline, like I mentioned before, and read a chapter a day of a book, or listen to a book, or listen to a podcast, a business podcast, you will start controlling what you consume, and you will be better for it. So guys, as we wrap up on that note, I want to encourage you to read or pick up one book. If you've never read a finance book, ask in the comments which book to read, right? I would say that Rich Dad Poor Dad was my first book that I read that was like that. You could read that book. There are better books out there, but it had a huge impact on me as the first book, I will say. But guys, hopefully that's helped. In this order, what you want to do is fix your mindset. Money is abundant in this world. Next up, build a high income skill or build a business. And third, invest in yourself first. And when I say invest in yourself, invest the time in yourself, right? It doesn't have to start with money. Invest time in yourself and it will pay dividends. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Please drop a comment below. Let me know if you like videos like this, where I could put in our personal anecdotes as well. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.